Welcome, everybody, to Raising Preteens Right. My name is Elisa, MSW, independent educator. These are my opinions. You're entitled to yours. And as always, please use your discretion when watching our videos as we are speaking about youth mental health. Today, we are reviewing Chapter 5, or Lesson 2, in our mini-stories, Self-Discovery and Self-Awareness. It is approximately 17 pages long. Self-discovery is the essence of finding out more about yourself. Self-awareness is the ability to perceive or become familiar with yourself. We're always looking at a biopsychosocial spiritual perspective that's weaved through the chapter. Self-discovery is a central part of your preteen and teenage years as you take part in the ongoing process of gaining insight into who you are or discovering your authentic self. Self-awareness is recognizing and understanding your perceptions of yourself and others, hence aware of your true nature. Having said that, of course, we talk about first and foremost, God created you. It is so important to speak to adolescents about their sense of self-discovery and self-awareness. They're seeking to understand their self. They're curious about developing their sense of self. Self-discovery is in essence the stage that they're in. They're discovering more about who they are, who they want to become, separate from their family of origin. It is so important to talk about these topics with pre-adolescents and how to help guide them into a healthy sense of self instead of relying on social media or false comparisons with digital electronics. Introspection is a fundamental skill to learn, develop, and practice during your preteens and beyond. Developing your introspection means you look inward to examine your truths, beliefs, morals, values, and experiences. It is not a coincidence the Holy Spirit also dwells inside you and guides you towards God's truth. They're not getting this information from other places. World or earthly focused identity formation is relying upon discovering who you are and who you are becoming according to the ideas and beliefs of the world. This way, your sense of self-discovery relies upon what the world assigns worth to. We start to tease out and challenge what the world assigns meaning to versus being a child of God and what having purpose and worth in God is all about. I cannot tell you how many adolescents I've sat with in emergency rooms that are depressed about their social ranking due to social overcomparison based on what the world is telling them their worth and value is, or how many likes they have on their social media, who's ghosting them, who's not, what the world prescribes to their meaning. And too many young people are suffering based on this false belief and notion. It's very important that they have another point of reference early on in their adolescence to know that their worth and value does not come just from what society dictates that to be. Taking another excerpt from the Raising Preteens Right student textbook, we write about how there is a natural uncertainty about who you are during your teenage years as you are forming your sense of self and social identity. It is easy to label and categorize people as popular, unpopular, loners, emos, goth kids, anime fans, smart kids, nerds, on and on. Some examples of how people around you assign identity to others include how good looking you are, what kind of shape you're in, what your body looks like, how fashionable your clothes are, who your friends are, how many people like you, how much money you or your parents have, what kind of social media you have, how popular your social media is, and what grades you earn. Not only are we normalizing the confusion that they feel, we are challenging the ideas of the world by saying that you are responsible for your own self-awareness and self-identity. It's up to you, regardless of how the world is going to view you. This is a temporary time in your life where you're discovering who you are. So don't lean too heavily on what the world is assigning to you, that's a false belief. So we start to help them challenge that idea, as that over comparison often leads to more loneliness and confusion for many pre-adolescents. So we speak about identity formation or developing a sense of self that aligns with the pre-adolescent's own values, beliefs, faiths, goals, behaviors, thoughts, and perspectives. And that takes time and effort. That don't be so quick just because someone labels you something to buy into what the world is saying that you are, to negate that and search within. We speak about some of the functions of the developing prefrontal lobe and educate them that their ability to learn, create, focus, control their impulses, reason, make decisions, plan, regulate their emotions, and solve problems, they're just beginning to form in their prefrontal cortex. That in no way, shape, or form can they possibly reside to the fact of a label that someone else is giving to them, which usually winds up being a negative label attached to your child. The importance of understanding that they're just learning to regulate their emotions is huge, because typically they're going to start tearing each other down and jockeying for social status. And so that intimidation, bullying, that popular and unpopular, that I'm going to pull you down in order to pick me up, starts happening around 5th, 6th, 7th grade. And they need to know how to start regulating their emotions and not just respond to that and buy into what other people around them are doing. Their amygdala is giving signals to their prefrontal lobe, and that their prefrontal lobe is learning how to navigate their emotions and their moods and give it time. Don't just reside to the fact that this is how it's going to be, and this is permanent. We bring to light that it is not healthy to make false idols out of others. Your worth and value to God does not involve the opinions of how others judge or label you. We also do a little psychoeducation about reframing in this chapter, because they're so engaged in seeking peer approval. And we talk about not listening or believing how other people are judging them, not getting over-attached to that it's their self-discovery, not the discovery of their peers of who they are. They need to make that distinction. One of the things we write about is you do not have to accept the interpretations, perspective, judgments, and status assigned to you by others. We need to eliminate that. So we need to stop that and prevent that cycle from happening through their adolescence in order to minimize some of the anxiety and depression that they're feeling later on. So by educating this in a proactive way, sets them up with more grit, more resilience, the good stuff, all the leadership, the self-dependence that we want them to have, and self-esteem and self-worth. So lesson 2 is vital. In the next video, we will speak about chapter 6 or lesson 3, which is trust and boundaries. If you're interested in purchasing our program, please visit raisingpreteensright.com. If you sign up for our newsletter, we will send you a discount code for our program. Together, we will make a positive impact on youth, mental health, and wellness. Thank you.